Hey, thanks everyone. My apologies, I couldn't be there in person in Davos. I have my son flying in today, and we're going to be enjoying some deep sea fishing here in El Salvador because it's nice and warm. Let me start by introducing myself. I'm Juan Carlos Reyes. Was born in El Salvador, educated in Canada and in the States. I studied mining engineering, physics and math, computer science, and have a master's degree from Harvard. I specialize in technology, and cryptocurrency is one of my passions. I've been in it now for well over a decade. And recently, I have come back to El Salvador to be part of the efforts my president is making in turning El Salvador into the hub for economic freedom and for digital assets. As we all know, it's what's coming. Let me start off by stating that El Salvador is Bitcoin country. And see, what does that mean? Well, in El Salvador, we don't just say that Bitcoin is Bitcoin country. We have laws that accept it. Out of every country in this world, El Salvador is probably the one that has the highest penetration, education, and understanding of Bitcoin when it comes to our community. It's actually embedded into the curriculum. Children from grade school to high school have classes and educational programs that teach them basic finance and also how Bitcoin works and where it is that we're going with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is accepted in most places in El Salvador, and we have achieved tremendous success in the past 3 years. And it all started with the Bitcoin law. In 2021, our president decided that Bitcoin is the way forward for the country. We created a law. An article from the law that I'd like to highlight is that the law has that was implemented in El Salvador states that every economic agent must accept Bitcoin as a form of payment when it's offered to the person and acquires of goods or services. So Bitcoin in El Salvador is not just the law, it's our currency. And you can use our currency with anyone and everywhere in El Salvador. That's fantastic, but what else have we done? Well, in 2023, we actually became safer than the US. And big news is 2024, we're now the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. El Salvador is not just beautiful, it's also one of the best countries to be safe in. And most importantly, because of that, and because we're beautiful, we've actually been one of the best performing destinations from January to September 2023. This is based on the World Tourism Barometer, the fourth country with the largest tourism uptake has been El Salvador. And for 2024, we outperforming those numbers. So how do we get here? Well, the president and the government did an analysis and realized that Bitcoin was the best digital asset to be accepted. And until today, there's no second best. In El Salvador, we're Bitcoiners, but we're not just Bitcoiners, we're hodlers. Or Bitcoin investment that has been criticized globally by the media during the times that we were in the dip are not being celebrated internationally by the media now that we're at a surplus. El Salvador's Bitcoin surplus is well over the $60 million. And we're continuing to hold because we believe in the power, we believe in what Bitcoin holds for an economic independence. But why Bitcoin? Well, I'll give you five good reasons why Bitcoiners. Me personally, I'm a Bitcoiner, and I believe, and the country believes, that Bitcoin is the road to independence for individuals and countries. What does this mean? Well, currently in El Salvador, we depend on the U.S. currency. By adopting Bitcoin and allowing us to use Bitcoin doesn't just allow us to have independence, economic independence for the country, but also those that believe in the Bitcoin economic independence can come to El Salvador and be part of the new economy. One of the biggest things that Bitcoin has is the centralization. It removes the intermediaries and democratizes access. That means that I don't have to depend on a third party to acquire it, to custody it. I can have my own Bitcoin and decide where it is that I'm going to spend my money. My money can't be taken away if I have custodies of my own coins. And also for our country, Bitcoin has helped to bank the unbanked. Every Salvadorian in the country has access to the Chivo wallet, which has a stable dollar and it has a Bitcoin wallet. So every Salvadorian has an application that works as a bank. And in my perspective, as a software developer, as someone that's been in the industry for a long time, Bitcoin is an intellectual symphony. And what does this mean? That Bitcoin has been created to reinvent itself every 4 years due to the halving event that we have. And even this is part of what we know as the kitchen economic cycle and Trumpetarian economic philosophy that forces the market players to reinvent themselves every 4 years. So it includes a lot of economic theory, finance, and software, and it takes into account humanity in general. It's something fantastic. I mean, everyone that actually takes the time and studies Bitcoin falls in love. So El Salvador is Bitcoin country. But where are we going with this? So as part of this strategy, we noticed there was a missing link. This is where the Commission of National Digital Assets came into place. What we did is we created an agile regulatory to promote digital assets. So the law of emission of digital assets was created a year ago. The law created the commission, which now has the supervision and regulation power over all digital assets coming into the country. The idea was to create an agile, educated, well-organized and structured regulatory body to attract investment from around the world. So the National Commission of Digital Assets was set up. I'm the president of the commission, and we are one of the few regulatory commissions in the world that's focusing on tokenization and the issuing of tokens and the increase of digital assets adoption. Now, why tokenization? The Boston Consulting Group and Kinsley and everyone else has estimated that by 2030, the value of tokenization is going to be in the dozens of trillions of dollars. Boston Consulting Group actually said $15 trillion. And here in El Salvador, we've seen it. I mean, the commission is very young, just like Bitcoin is young compared to gold. The commission has only been around now for 6 months since I've been leading it. And we have already looked at over $1 billion of tokenized products. Yes, obviously, we have something that every Bitcoiner is waiting for, the Volcano Bond. The Volcano Bond was approved a couple months back, if you guys follow the news. And, we're waiting for the president. The president has a vision, and when he believes the time is right, he will launch the Volcano Bond. So it's ready to just press the launch button. But also, we've done a great deal of real-world asset tokenization, something that no other country has done. So, for example, we've done $100 million of tokenization of soy futures that in the past would have been done in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange are now being done here through El Salvador and through a tokenization process, which gives you more transparency, instant liquidity, instant settlement, and the opportunity for everyone around the world to be part of this economy. So let me close off by giving you the final pitch of why you should come to El Salvador. Well, number one is if you're a crypto person, Bitcoin is a legal tender. What boils down to, if you like Ethereum, Tron, even Ton, even any of the meme coins, it doesn't matter. If you are in the crypto world, with the press of a button, your ultimate settlement can be Bitcoin, which means that you are legally entitled to purchase and do anything you want with your digital assets here in El Salvador. On top of that, given that the commission has been established, the digital assets activity are regulated, and we have very clear instructions. So if you want to come in El Salvador and invest and be part of the industry, we have really good, clear instructions on how to be part of the ecosystem. There's significant tax benefits to be part of the digital assets markets in El Salvador. If you create a project on tokenization, none of your profits are going to be taxed. You're free to enjoy your freedom and your money here in El Salvador. We've also integrated the traditional capital markets, and also it's very safe. Anyways, if you have any questions about El Salvador and why we're Bitcoin country, let me know, and I'm more than happy to answer them. Reto, I know we're on a tight schedule, so let's move on.
Hello, Juan. Thanks for your presentation. Just a quick question. I think, can you say something on the Bitcoin City project that I think you guys were advertising a few years back?
Yeah, definitely. So from the commission, we have approved now the bond issuance. So we've reviewed all the documentation. We're a regulated country, therefore even the president has to have the project of the volcano bond go through the regulation. We have done all the process, all the homework. It's now all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. It's ready to be launched, and now we're waiting. So my feeling is that any day now, I mean, the president is a strategist, one of the best strategists in the world. And in my opinion, should be almost any day now. But I mean, it's up to him to announce it. And some of the money, as it was promised from the beginning, would be used for Bitcoin and Bitcoin City.